الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي سبحانك لا علم إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So perfect knowledge results in fear, which in turn, when in its turns, touches one's heart and becomes reflected on one's physique through being faint and shedding tears. When a person truly realizes that he is on a journey towards his Allah, towards his Lord, our journey started the day we set our foot on the planet, the day we were born. And since then, our journey started and we're moving on towards our akhirah. When a person has a perfect knowledge, and it is unwavering and sound knowledge, then definitely it has impact upon the heart of a person. And in our previous chapter, we have discussed about the heart, the different kinds of the heart. So this knowledge, it directly influences the heart of a person. And then we know that Al-qalbu ra'isul a'ba. The heart is a chief organ, is a chief of all, it's a king of all organs. And now whatever king commands, all other organs and limbs are bound to follow that command. Therefore, when a person's heart is filled up with taqwa, based on the sound knowledge, and he fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala truly, and there is no any ambiguity about it, and this fear is then the fear in heart, the taqwa in the heart, it is reflected through the actions of a person. It is reflected through the deeds of a person, and it is reflected through the limbs of a person. And it may undermine one's mental faculty if a person will keep on thinking on these lines. And as far as it is effect on one's organ is concerned, they should give up sinning and stick to obedience, redressing the past and getting equipped for the future. This fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it streamlines the life of a person. It streamlines how it makes a person to be penitent on his past events and to be fully hopeful for the future to come. So he prepares good amal for the akhirah. He is not heedless, rather he is heedful. He pays attention towards making his akhirah perfect. And one cannot make his akhirah perfect unless and until he believes in akhirah from the core of his heart. So knowledge is immensely important. Without the knowledge, one cannot achieve the true, the true cognizance and marifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The wise man said, fear prompts endurance. The true fear, it helps a person to make efforts. When shaitan threatens a person of, makes him to be scared of poverty, so he make all his possible efforts to get it. So a wise man said, fear prompts endurance. When there's a true fear in the heart of a person, it helps him to make efforts, good efforts for the akhirah. Another one said, fear does not mean shedding tears. It rather signifies giving up what one can do. It's not only just a person cries only. That's not fear. Fear is when a person's efforts are structured in such a way that he can streamline his life and he can focus upon the positive things. He can focus upon performing the good deeds. And in the same breath, he tries his top level best to stay away from the prohibitions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because fear, it curbs one's lusts and desires, and troubles delights. Thus, like poisoned honey, enjoyable sins become detestable. If a person has a true fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-khawf, there is a hadith Prophet said sallallahu alayhi wasallam, man khafa adraj, wa man adraja balag al-manzil. Ala inna salatallahi ghaliya. Ala inna salatallahi al-jannah. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is reported to have said, man khafa, whoever achieves the fear of Allah. And he gave an example, man khafa, whoever fears Allah, adlaja, he starts his journey through night. Idlaj or adlaja, the Arabs used this word properly, specifically for the night journey. If a caravan was supposed to reach to some place, so they would prefer to start their journey through the night. And there were many reasons for this. One of the biggest reasons was that they were safe from the robbers. Second one, they were safe from the scorching heat of the sun, because they usually had to travel through the hot deserts. So it was very difficult during the day to cross the desert because of the intense heat of the sun. And secondly, there were quite possible attacks of the robbers. So then what Arabs used to do, they would prefer their journey through the night. And they would reach to the destination without much difficulty. They would reach to their destination with ease and comfort. That's what Prophet says, man khafa, whoever is fearful of the robbers, whoever is fearful of the scorching heat of the sun, adlaja, he will start his journey through the night, because he knows if he delays, that delay can cause him too much troubles. Delay may cause him too much troubles. Therefore, what he is doing, adlaja, he starts his journey during the night. Man khafa adlaj. And whoever starts his journey through the night, balag al-manzil, he will reach to his destination. And Prophet said, inna salatallahi ghaliya. Indeed, the product, salatun actually means product. The product of Allah is very expensive. And the product of Allah is Jannah. So a person, when he has a fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it prompts him to make positive efforts. And then fear, it curbs one's lusts and desires. As we are having a number of desires in the heart. A number of desires. And that cannot be overcome, that cannot be controlled, except by the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's only the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will help a person to be saved from the lusts and desires. Therefore, fear melts lusts away, admonitions organs, and crushes and subdues the heart. If you remember, I think already discussed about the story of the king and the prince, a story of a young guy and the princess. I'm not sure whether you remember it or not. The story of a young guy and the princess. When the princess, she wanted to
How many burns his finger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. So why he did this? Because there was a kind of fear. He realized that if he performs this wrong deed here in this dunya, no doubt for time being, he may have some pleasure. But that pleasure is followed by the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And more importantly, he will be away from Allah's pleasure, away from Allah's mercy and rahmah. Our main objective, whether male or female, our main objective is to get Allah, to please Allah. Allah is our target. We are here on this planet only for our Lord, our Creator, our Master, our Sustainer, our Designer, the one who brought us into existence. We are only for Him. Then we have secondary relationships. We have the secondary relationship with the spouses, with the children, with the parents, with their friends, near and dear, kids and kins, relatives. Wallahi, all these relationships are secondary. Our primary, first and foremost relationship is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, the true fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it breeds the good deeds. Rather, it necessitates the good deeds. Therefore, when a person hosts, when the heart of a person hosts the fear, it melts the lust away, admonishes organs, as that of the young guy. He put his finger on the fire, on the lamp, to make his nafs taste the consequence of the sin his nafs was demanding for, and crushes and subdues the heart. Furthermore, fear shatters pride and arrogance away. Accordingly, one becomes overtaken with anxiety and worried about his end. He becomes overwhelmed with his own affairs, considering his deeds and reforming himself. He even considers his words, gazes, breaths, and contemplations. He acts like a prey fallen at the hands of a wild lion. He does not know whether it will ignore him. Thus, he will escape or it will attack him. He is solely preoccupied with his own situation. The intensity of man's fear depends on his knowledge of Allah Almighty, his sublimity and his attributes. It also counts on his knowledge of his character, its defects and detriments. The least level of fear is depicted in man's deeds, shunning prohibitions, avoiding dubious matters signifies piety.